Well, it's dawn, so I guess it's time to see if those things are still out there. Not only are they still out there, but they're in color now for some reason. The hell? Well, I don't think this place is going to be safe that much longer, so I think we're going to have to take some more drastic action here. Alright, let's do this.
We're behind 247 Fort Pitt Boulevard in downtown Pittsburgh, and this is the old Latent Images office. This is where George Romero had his office. And up here on the roof, you can see a very recognizable door, being the one from the apartment scene in Dawn of the Dead, the beginning of the movie, where you see the tenants coming out to have their confrontation with the cops. There's that vent off to the right of it. That's very recognizable from the film. But that door, more than anything else, is 100% what you see in the movie. Coming up a little higher, we can get a better look at it. I was hoping maybe we could identify where the cops were in the film, but I don't see the kind of like bricks that were around them during that scene. Going one more level up to see if I could recognize anything else. Not really. Nothing else really more to see here, but this is, technically the 7th floor, I think, like halfway up, and it's a pretty darn good view of the rooftop. This was George Romero's old offices for Latent Images, so he used this for both Night and Dawn of the Dead. So we're out at the Pittsburgh Riverwalk. This is in the film where the helicopter takes off from. In the background, you can make out this Ford Commercial Vehicle Center sign. So that's kind of the landmark you're looking for. But the location itself is kind of this bike trail. It's all graffitied out. And it's literally right next to the river here. I would assume from the film that this is also the location where they actually had the police boat dock and everything. But I mean, it's really hard to tell. It doesn't look anything like that now. But this is definitely an identifiable location here.
Jesus, it's everywhere. We're still pretty close to Johnstown. Those rednecks are probably enjoying the whole thing.
We are on Logan's Ferry Road in Monroeville. And this is the road that we see the militia kind of gathering together on. As they prepare to fight some zombies and drink some Iron City beer. this is probably one of the more recognizable shots from the film. You can see that red house up in front of us. That is really noticeable in the movie. And I believe up on this hill here, I actually kind of cut through the hill, but this is where we saw some of the zombies getting shot in the movie while the rednecks were kind of getting together and doing their thing. So now this is all brand new houses by the looks of it, so you too can live in the middle of where a zombie apocalypse once happened. So this doesn't have anything to do with Dawn of the Dead exactly, but it kind of ties into some light reading I've been doing.
I told you before, I didn't want you to read this crap. I never saw such rotten crap in my life. Where do you get this shit? Who sells it to you?
I've seen people get to the airfield before, but unfortunately it looks like now it is all blocked off because you're doing construction.
I guess they all hit the pumps and they took off.
Yeah, to where?
Got some here.
So, I guess I won't get a chance to see that spot. Wow. They must get through in the roof. Son of a bitch. They had trucks blocking all the entrances. Look at that. Yeah, trucks. No sweat. What do you think? Get them now or tonight? Tonight. What's with the cone? Yeah, did you ever see this before? It's weird. For researching the locations in the Monroeville Mall, I referenced a map that I found on zombiegaming.org. This map appears to show the Monroeville Mall as it was at the time of filming, and everything I've been able to compare it with in the film does look like it matches, but I am not 100% certain this map is entirely accurate, just because I don't know the exact source of it other than finding it through this website. In matching up shots, I referenced this map alongside of a modern directory of the mall to try to line up where locations were. However, a lot has changed in the last 45 years within the Monroeville Mall, both in terms of design and the actual floor plan of the mall itself. And it doesn't help that the directory map is flipped from what is in the zombie gaming map. So there's definitely room for me to have made some mistakes in figuring this out. But since this seems to be the best resource I have available to me, it's what we're going to be using, comparing locations both then and now. So I can't tell if this is from the right angle or the exact right piece, but you do see Peter walk by some big industrial things on the roof when they're first arriving at the mall.
Guess the power's not off in this area. Could be nuclear.
This does seem like it would track for all of that. It's basically almost right above where Penny's used to be, maybe a little off of that. So this could be it. I'm just not sure of the angle, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to see a better angle from anywhere else on the property here. This is kind of the highest section of the parking lot, from what I can tell. But I'm going to go ahead and apologize now. I grew up watching so much Kenan and Kel. That was my introduction to Ken Foray. And thanks to that show, I'm always mixing up whether he's Roger or Peter in Dawn of the Dead, because he's Roger in Kenan and Kel. So if I make that mistake here, please forgive me in advance. Again, not totally sure if I'm seeing the right ones, right angle, any of that. But there are these kind of pyramid-shaped lights, which I believe is the skylight over where that clock tower used to stand in front of Dick's Sporting Goods here. And I believe we do see a shot of these in the film, kind of like an establishing shot when they're first arriving at the mall. The way it's shot, it's kind of from above the lights, so these may be wrong because they obviously look like they're suspended high above the roof. But, you know, if you could get up there, I'm sure there is a way to get up there for maintenance, you know, potentially that could be the shot that we're seeing there. As I mentioned before, the other side of the mall is lower, so it's harder to get a view of anything on the roof from that side. So it could be above Macy's, which would make a little more sense. This is really the total opposite side of the mall from where a lot of the action takes place. But, you know, they had the whole mall to work with, so it is possible they shot a lot of other places. Looking at the roof of the mall through Google Images, we can see that there is a similar skylight to the one that I saw from the road on the Macy's side of the building, so I'm gonna guess this is probably more likely the one that they went into. We could also get a bit of a better look at those things we were looking at on the roof, the big fans or whatever they are.
So here we are on the street going down into the mall. This is the path that I think both that they take the trucks down. I'm not 100% sure about the trucks, but I know for sure the motorcycle gang, the Raiders, come down this way on this relatively steep decline into the mall area, arriving right where our heroes have barricaded themselves. So if we keep going straight, we find ourselves looking at the entrance that they would have used to actually get into the mall. So this actually matches up fairly well with the geography of the movie itself.
Looks like they've been surviving on the road all through this thing.
Here is the entrance underneath Macy's, or next to Macy's really. It's a downstairs and upstairs entrance. The ghost is opening the door. But this is where we see a lot of the zombies in the movie kind of congregating outside.
The normal question, the first question is always, not be considered human. They prey on humans. They do not prey on each other. That's the difference. They attack and they feed only on warm human flesh.
That stone wall back behind here is really recognizable from several bits of zombie footage, as well as in this parking lot out here. These doors right here, if you look kind of behind the Firestone, I don't think you really see it from here, but that would be the road that the biker gang came down, and then these doors would be where they actually came in.
They're in, Flyboy. They opened the loading docks.
This also would have been where they kind of barricaded things off with the trucks. So this actually lines up pretty well with the outside pieces, but there's one flaw with the inside stuff, because when these doors are open, you see one of the fleeing bikers get shot by Ken Foray as he's trying to get out of here. He's kind of out in that curved section right outside the doors there. But there's no way that shot could have gotten made from inside this hallway. You move over, you can kind of see where those marble columns are, and that's kind of where the upstairs area begins, where you even could have attempted something like that. The cool thing though is there is a zombie arcade and laser tag thing over here, so that's very on theme. And my understanding is kind of back behind where this play place is now is what used to be the fountain that we see the bikers go through. So this view would have basically been looking down at the fountain, which once again is no longer here, but it kind of would have been where you see the motorcycle gang come in from the lower level, which fits up with where they came in. They kind of circle around what is now a children's play place. And then the escalator there is, I think under that is where they're supposed to have that blood test machine, or blood pressure test machine. Kind of down below here is the food court, but back in the day this would have been the ice rink.
Intelligence? Seemingly little or no.
But you can't even get the same view from the film anymore because they kind of built like not just this elevator, but this whole part of the building here. But if you were to not have that here, granted we're on the second floor, but we'd be able to see straight across to where the pennies used to be. Ironically, it's a Cinemark now, showing movies, but where you kind of see the tile change from the stone pattern to the tile pattern, that would have been the entrance, the upstairs entrance to the penny store. So where a lot of the kind of, messing with the zombies would have happened.
Okay, downstairs again. Same trick. Let's go.
Kind of behind me is not the same railing there used to be, but the railing where you would have seen the whole group get together and have that iconic shot.
What the hell are they?
They're us, that's all. There's no more room in hell.
What?
Something my granddaddy used to tell us. You know Macumba? Voodoo. Granddad was a priest in Trinidad. He used to tell us, when there's no more room in hell, the dead will walk the earth.
Now, like you can see, that would have been the ice rink down there, so you can't get that view anymore, but it's kind of what we would have had. And then I'm not entirely sure where the escalator would have come out, but it would have been somewhere, I think, towards the back. Same with like the elevator and all that. I'm assuming kind of because the building flares out here, this might have been about where that happened, but I'm not sure. This hallway off to the side would have been where they went to get to their hideout. So there are still like ceiling tiles in here as opposed to like a lot of the rest of the mall. If you go down here by the restroom, that would have been the door right there that they used to go to their hideout. This is where they had it all like boarded up. And then they have this kind of long lead up out here, back to the rest of the mall. In the upstairs entrance near JCPenney's, which is not the JCPenney's from the pennies from the film, it's a smaller one here. They have a history section, including Dawn of the Dead, pictures of Romero, pictures of the cast, pictures of little bridges and fountains that are no longer here, and a certificate for the largest gathering of zombies from 2006. I know I've seen people post about like photos and stuff, and these aren't the ones that I remember seeing, so I don't know if there's another one somewhere else or if it's just you know, they changed it up, but it is cool that they have this up here. So here right in front of Penny's on the second floor, this is where the clock tower piece used to stand that you see at the very end of the film. Nothing here now, but over on the side there is the Living Dead Museum, and unfortunately I came here on a day that it's not open. Yeah, it would have been cool to check this out, but unfortunately this wasn't my main purpose of coming here, and my only day to come here was on a Wednesday where they're not open. They're open like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so maybe next time. However, just downstairs where that tower used to be, they do have a Romero tribute, so a bust of him, and then a little plaque commemorating his work. So it's really cool that he's here in that way.
Wait a minute, the car.
What?
One of the cars. Why don't you use one of the cars over there?
So down here on the left is where the bottom floor of the Pennies used to be, and then over kind of in front of this upscale beauty place, you can see that column there. I believe that's where the Volkswagen that they take would have been, kind of in this area here. Like all the planters and stuff are gone, so it's really hard to tell, but it looks like this would have been about the spot. So a little better look at the H&M that would have been the Pennies. You can kind of see up there the railing where the group would have been in that one shot. So behind us in the food court would have been the ice rink. These escalators, I think, got a lot of heavy use in the film of like zombies tumbling up and down them. Definitely a key spot for the movie. So this door back here was closed in the movie, but between these stores here, this would have been where we saw Tom Savini kick that one zombie over, and then kind of vaguely around here, we would have seen him putting that machete right in its head.
Say goodbye, Creed.
Bath and Body Works, just to the left is the entrance where the hideout would have been. And I believe this is where Savini would have gotten shot, so it would have been like knocked over that railing and then kind of fallen down into the little pond thing down here. Go out a little bit, you can see that the skylights still pretty much match what was in the movie. So if I'm lining up the shots correctly, you can kind of see there's two marble columns on the wall next to that store, like built into the wall. I believe this was the Anticipation Maternity store. They see Fran sitting outside of while they're burying Roger. Looking at the movie, I think her back was to them, so it probably might have been like over here a little bit where the actual planter was, but this is kind of where she was sitting. So on the upper level, also in line with Penny's, basically the opposite side entrance from where all the Romero stuff was. You can kind of line up these columns of like marble here with the where they ended up parking that Volkswagen after they took it. I was really doubting this was the spot because it's upstairs, and it just seems odd they would have taken that car upstairs to film it when it was downstairs for sure at the beginning. But you look at that kind of swish at the top right by that 90s nails sign, like where the sign starts, the upper section, and that matches up with the movie very well. And over here, they also have a zombie in this mural next to Batman for some reason. I don't know, is Michael Keaton from here? Pretty cool mural. So this area, it's hard to tell because I can't really find any landmarks that look like valid, but I think this is where the pie fight happened, kind of in this, I mean, it's really a big kind of open area here. I think it used to have one of the little bridges and stuff, but I think that would have been where that took place. Stopped here by the upper floor exit by Macy's, and is that zombie blood? Probably not. It's actually not red enough. Kind of step out here to the upper level. And that would be another view from the movie looking down into the parking lot full of zombies. I don't know if these are the same lights. They look kind of similar, but maybe not the exact same. I think the shot was taken from like higher up on the, maybe on the roof there, which would make sense since they were filming up there. But then down there would have been where we were looking at before, the downstairs entrance where the biker gang would have come in. And then you can get a better shot here of the automotive center, which I think there was still an automotive center back in the film that you could see. And then that road that goes up, and I can't see anything on my screen on my camera, so hopefully this is actually coming out. But it looks like it's grown up quite a bit, like the trees and everything since then. But that would have been the view more or less. And then I believe you can also see this kind of strip mall area in the back in the film too. Here is the kind of downside of the entrance from the outside. So those again would have been the doors that the motorcycle gang came through or came into from the outside here, where they came out. And then more of the kind of zombie area over here. Particularly, you do see the one kind of like bouncing into the glass here. And I believe in a few scenes you do kind of see activity out on the street level here, and even more up against like the side of Macy's here.
Are these cannibals? No, they are not cannibals. Cannibalism in the true sense of the word implies an interspecies activity. These creatures cannot be considered human. They prey on humans. They do not prey on each other. That's the difference. They attack, and they feed only on warm human flesh.
Alright, so we came to Pittsburgh, found locations of 2 of the Dead films. I think we got this. We got this by the ass!